Hi, boys and girls. Welcome back to Math Review Minutes with Mrs. O'Connor. I hope you were able to check out our Wednesday word problem yesterday. We're going to get back to reviewing place value today. Just a quick 5 to 7 minute little review for us, okay? So on Tuesday, we started talking about standard form. So if I have a hundreds place, a tens place, and a ones place, a number would be written out like this, 479. And we said that that was standard form. On Tuesday, we talked about how to stretch that out. And I know you remember that word. When we stretch it out and it's called expanded form. If I was going to write it in expanded form, it would look like this. 400 plus 70 plus 9. Okay? Here's my paper towel. So today, we're going to talk about some other ways to show place value, just as a review, and they're probably going to be easy for you. Drawing it out and using word form. Those were other ways that we learned to write out a number and show its place value. Okay? So I'm going to take a minute. You pause the video. Go get a piece of paper and a pencil so that you can work along with me. Okay, welcome back. Here we go. I'm going to write a number. I want you to stretch it out. Then we're going to draw it out together and write it out in word form together. When we're done with this video, by the time we're done with it, you're going to do all three by yourself, okay? So the first number I'm going to do 523. I wish you guys were here to shout out a number to me. Okay, 523. Go ahead, take a minute, stretch it out into expanded form. And we'll go over that real quick. $523. Okay? All right, now we're going to draw it out. So if you remember, when we draw it out, 100 squares look like this. So obviously the number is 500. So I will need 500 squares, 5 groups of 100. Okay, 5 groups of 100. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Then I'll move over to my 10 sticks. Mrs. O'Connor draws her 10 sticks out just like this. Sometimes my friends like to go like this, but then they get really messy and really complicated, and sometimes we don't have 10. So I like to keep it really simple, and I know that this represents a group of 10, okay? So 2 groups of 10, which really means 10, 20. Okay, and then when we draw ones, 1, 2, 3 circles, okay? And that's how we draw out 523. The last thing we're going to do is write it out in word form. This is where it gets really tricky because sometimes we don't know how to spell words. I always like to just say, try your best. Tap it out as best as you can and give it a shot, okay? So 500, 5. You can't just write 5. You have to write 500. Okay, so 500. Let's move on to the next spot. 20. Sometimes friends like to write 2. It's not 2. If you listen to it, it's 523. I always say it out loud to yourself if you have to hear what the number really is. 520. Now here's the important thing. Remember this little hyphen? It goes in between the tens and the ones spot. 523. T-H-R-E-E. Okay, and those are 3 different ways to write out a number showing its place value, using its place value. Okay, this was our standard form, expanded form, draw it out or model it, and word form. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do next. I'm going to give you a number and you're gonna try to do all 3 of these by yourself. Okay, let me erase this. On your piece of paper, find a spot where you can divide it into 4 like this, okay? And this will help us keep it nice and neat when we do this. In your first square, we're going to write the number standard form. 627. I was gonna say 8, but 8 is very hard for us to spell, so we'll keep working on that. 627. Go ahead and put that in one of your squares. That's our standard form. You don't have to write the word standard. I'm just gonna put it here so you can see it. Okay, 627. Over here, next to it, I want you to, how about we draw it out first? I know a lot of you just like to draw it out, okay? So go ahead, take a minute and draw it out. 100 squares, 10 sticks, ones. And if you have to, you can just pause this video if I move on too fast, okay? All right, at the bottom, you're gonna do expanded form, okay? So here we go, hundreds plus tens plus the ones. Oh, my writing looks terrible there. Go ahead and do your expanded form. What does the 6 really mean? What does the 2 really mean? What does the 7 really mean? If you're not sure, listen to it. 627. Okay, and last but not least, you're going to write it out in words. Okay, this is your word form. Okay, why don't you pause this for a second, go ahead and take your time writing it out in word form, and then we're gonna go over it when you're ready. Okay, let's go over it. When you drew it out, you should have done 600 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 groups of 100. So you have 6 hundreds, okay? 6 groups of 100. Then we have 2 10 sticks, which is 2 groups of 10. That really means 20, right? And then 7 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plain old 7, 7 ones. When you wrote it out in expanded form, we stretched this all out. This 6 really means 600. The 2 really means 20. And the 7 means plain old 7. Okay, again, I think word form is the hardest, but it's worth it to just keep practicing it. You should have written something close to this. 600. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit it all, obviously. 600. Oops. And then 20. What comes after the 20? What comes between the 10s and the 1s place when we put it in word form? 627. We don't do that if it's in the teens. We do it if it's above the teens. 627. Okay? All right, that was a quick review for you on the 3 ways we can write out a number using place value. I hope you remembered most of it. I'm sure you did. Have your mom or dad write you another 3-digit number, and you can practice this at home. Or you write a 3-digit number for your mom and dad, have them do standard, draw it, expanded form and word form, and you check it. Okay, I'll see you soon.